Hello, I'm Debbie Ingram, and I'm running for the Democratic nomination for Lieutenant Governor. This is our very last stop on our virtual tour of Vermont, and it's in Grand Isle County. Come along. When we look at Grand Isle by the numbers, we see that it has the second lowest population of any county at about 7,200. It has a non-white population percentage of 5.9%, which actually is larger than the state average. And the percentage of the population living below the poverty line is pretty low at 8.2%. So then the median family income is higher than the state average at $66,000, and the median primary home price is also higher at $225,000, and also the gross rent is higher at a little over $1,000. The number of farms is also the second lowest in the state at 119. A very interesting historic site in the islands, specifically on Isle La Motte, is St. Anne's Shrine, and that is maintained by a group that I know quite well, the Society of St. Edmund. This 32-acre property was originally a chapel and fort erected by the French as early as 1666. But when the Vermont Catholic diocese was begun in the 1850s, the devotion to St. Anne continued, and ground was cleared and a small chapel was erected, and a statue of St. Anne was purchased in Montreal. In 1893, the chapel was first blessed, and an organized pilgrimage was sent to the shrine. Nearly 2,000 people from the region attended then. And the steamboat excursion stopped during the First World War, but visitors still continue to visit the beautiful grounds for retreats and conferences and weddings and the like. St. Anne, you might know, was the mother of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Very interesting historic place in the islands. So folks, with us today are Albert and Michael McCarver-Reyes, and they are the founders and partners in Champlain Islands Candy Lab. And I'm very pleased to be speaking to both of you today. Thanks so much.
No, thanks for having us.
So tell us, how did you come to make candy up in the Champlain Islands? What's your background, and why would you want to do such a thing?
We both worked in Manhattan, and we took vacations every year for, I guess, maybe over 10 years to southern Vermont, and then we decided we liked it so much we would explore the rest of the state. And one day we took a wrong turn and ended up in the Champlain Islands, and just basically fell in love with it, and ended up buying a home here and commuting basically on the weekends, every weekend, from Manhattan to Grand Isle, where our home is. And then the company that we were working for was bought out by another company, and our positions were eliminated. So we had about a year or so of severance, and we spent that year deciding what it was that we wanted to do and what made us happy. Because we decided we love the community here so much that we did not want to move back to Manhattan. So we stayed here, and it was actually Albert who came up with the chocolate idea, which was the original soul idea. And he can tell you a little bit about that.
I decided to use my time somewhat productively. It was like quarantine, actually, but in a positive way, because I actually got to do things and be out, and I had so much free time. But it was actually an opportunity to really rediscover something that, we all both had a background in science from our previous careers, and we also had an interest in food. So I went to school and got a degree as a chocolatier. And then he basically kind of piggybacked with me and learned along the way. And then we started to sell to farmers markets. And that's really how we got our start, was through the local community Champlain Islands Farmers Market up here on Grand Isle on Saturdays. We also started doing mail order, and that was for a number of years. And then, as Michael described, when that other situation transpired, we really shifted gears and focused in on learning on the chocolate, developing our skill set. He has skills in baking. We've since expanded. We can talk about the business at large, but it was really great opportunity through the farmers markets, though, to build what we feel is now a community-based business, because we really worked with and know our suppliers really well and intimately. So
we do build relationships with the farmers. We try to have our products follow the market for the year in the summer, and then we have some basic standards that we carry with for the winter and some other things. But one of the things that I just wanted to say right up front is that we are so incredibly thankful for the community here in the Champlain Islands for taking an interest in two guys from Manhattan. The community has done everything they possibly can to help support us and to encourage us and promote us, and we're just so thankful for them.
So where do you get your ideas? I noticed that you have a lot of different kinds of candies. Where what is your inspiration for your confections?
Okay. I can give you one now, and then I'll let Albert give you some. For example, just not 20 minutes ago, I went to one of the local farmer stands, and I needed strawberries, and I was late for one of the gelatos that we make, and they had raspberries, and I thought, well, raspberry lemonade sorbetto sounds great. So I've never had it before, never made it, but I'll make it tomorrow morning. It's just a lot of it's just a spur of the moment thing, what we think might work well together.
Yeah, I mean, and other things are inspired just by the palette of what's around us, and that's one of the great things of being here that I'm not used to. So I totally grew up in an urban environment. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. I mean, you can't get more urban than that, the 6th borough of New York. So for me, this is a total second life, learning a different way of living. And so to take advantage of, a good example is blue cheese and honey caramel. Because, well, we have Vermont blue cheese and we have great honey up here, and why not highlight those local providers?
But thank you so much for what you're doing in the community up there in the islands, and like I said before, your stuff looks so yummy online. I think I'm going to make a trip up there very soon.
We look forward to making you a coffee and having some coffee. Maybe
Sounds
some baked goods. All right.
Sounds great. I love it. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
One of the most interesting things to do in Grand Isle County is to traverse the Island Line Rail Trail, which is actually a bike path now. The trail crosses the Lake Champlain, on a spectacular 3-mile causeway, and it requires a ferry to cross the 200-foot gap to destinations on South Hero Island. It does follow the path of the rail line, which was built in 1899 to connect coastal markets in New England with the Great Lakes. But that rail line fell into decline in the 50s and 60s. So the vision for a pedestrian trail emerged in the 1980s, and it now draws approximately 150,000 visitors each year. Definitely the highlight is the Colchester Bike Path and Causeway that has stunning views of the Green Mountains and the Adirondacks in New York. And after you ride the ferry over, you can enjoy another mile up after you disembark at South Hero Island. Truly a beautiful and very interesting thing to do. You may remember when we did Bennington County in our virtual tour, I mentioned the Wilson House Hotel which was named after Bill Wilson, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, who was born in Dorset. And I got the opportunity on one of our Honk and Wave tours to stop by there, just the outside of it. It wasn't open that day, and so I'll have to go back. But here's a little photo of me outside the Wilson House Hotel, and looking forward to going back again to Bennington County soon. That's it for this week and for our whole virtual tour series. I'm Debbie Ingram. I'm running for the Democratic nomination for Lieutenant Governor. Please vote for me. You need to take your ballot into your town clerk's office if you haven't already mailed it, or you can vote in person on Election Day, August 11th at the polls. Thank you so much for joining me for this virtual tour of the state of Vermont.